It's week 51 on the Geek Week in Review, and this week we've replaced Brian with Vic.
New and improved.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review, episode 51. Of course, with me, Jacob's Toys, the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. And as Sorrell has pointed out, we have replaced Ryan with the Girl Strikes Back, Vic herself. So welcome to the show, Vic. Lovely to have you back on again. If you are watching on YouTube, then please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. Do check the details below and give these guys a follow if you don't already do so. And if you're one of our podcast listeners, then we appreciate you and we've enjoyed having you along for the ride. So do continue to download and share and all of those things. And you can check out the Geek Week in Review on Instagram and Facebook. So if you're on those platforms, give us a check out over there as well. So there we go. We are now on... Hang on, I've just had breaking news come through.
I just sent you that image that we were talking about before we started recording. I didn't realize the notification would turn on to it. Ding!
I was like, what has just come through? This is some kind of like breaking news. But it's not. It's not. It's something that we spoke about. So week 51, and Ryan is AWOL. Ryan is away this week. And we thought, you know what? We're not going to leave his space unfilled. And we gave Vic a shout. Fresh off of her trip to Galaxy's Edge as well. You've just come back from there, really, haven't you?
Yeah, so holiday blues is really, really real.
Looked like you had an amazing time. Though. Which actually makes me feel a bit down because I've just realised I'm the only one on this call that hasn't been to Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, mate.
I flew home the day before it opened. So I could have been there on the day it opened, and I flew home the day before. So I was like, but we are going. So I will get on. But yes, fresh off, and I loved seeing your stuff. And I mean, like some of the things you were getting up to, like Sorrell went out there and did lots, and then I was like, Vic's doing even more. Like it was like conventions and boot fairs and flea markets.
Literally, we were there for 2 weeks, and we had like an Excel sheet. What we're gonna do, even with like breakfast. We're gonna have breakfast here. We're gonna have lunch here. We're going to this toy shop. We're going to Tampa. We're going to flea markets. We're going to all the parks and everything. So we literally had like every hour planned out. So it was a little bit crazy, but at the same time, we've done so much. So it was really good.
In all my years of going to Florida, I never thought to coincide it with like MegaCon or something. That is now like on the bucket list. That is on my to-do list.
Seriously, like MegaCon there it just puts all the Comic Cons in the UK to shame. Like it was crazy. Really
in like a week's time, they do this convention out there that's called Halfway to Halloween. And it's like a big horror con. And they do that every summer in Orlando, and it's massive and looks amazing. I'd love to do that. Even Disney have a hand in that with like Haunted Mansion and stuff. I would love to go in to see that.
It is really good. That convention center in Orlando is huge. So where we parked, there was actually like shuttle big buses taking us from the car park to the, Americans don't walk at all, but that's not but literally they took us on the bus to the convention center. It was so big. Like, yeah.
That's amazing.
Really good.
That's amazing. But speaking of conventions as well, Celebration is obviously coming over here next year. And it's like sold out. Like the hotels are sold out.
Yep.
The tickets are sold out. Like it went quickly. Like, have you guys got tickets?
Well, the tickets aren't out yet. But what I was like talking to my wife about it, and she had a brainwave, which I think once I say this out loud, I think Vic and her chat might consider this. The whole event in like America costed like $300 to go to for the 4 days, plus the hotel and stuff. I wonder how much difference it would be for a trader table.
So yes. We are planning to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning as well.
So
Because then I'm already on the inside, no queuing.
Yeah. So Aaron already booked the hotels. So literally as soon as we actually had a little thought it's gonna be in London. So as soon as it was the last day and they were just about to announce it, like Aaron was on it straight away and hotels. So he managed to book a hotel quite cheap. So that was really lucky. But after
Nice.
it was just, it's gone crazy. And we actually want to do celebration to sell on celebration. So we're trying to stock up with all Star Wars stuff now. And I'm making my Darth Grogu as well. So I'm gonna take a few to celebrations. Have you seen that one?
They will sell like hotcakes, mate.
Have you seen my
they
Darth?
will. Have you got him at hand?
Yeah.
Him to hand. Just
So
show him off. He's awesome.
So I think
he
I'm
really
gonna
is
make
cool.
a few as well,
Yeah.
and just take it to celebrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just looks
the
so
same.
innocent but so evil.
I know.
It's just, like, I feel like I should be scared of him, but I just want to pet him. Like,
yeah, we had the exact same brainwave, like to go to celebration, but I'm gonna go as a retailer and take my business. That I'm thinking of it more of a case of I can leave my mum and Lynn to do the stall, and I'm on the inside with no queues. Beeline.
To be honest, that's seriously that's what we were thinking as well. Like, of course, we do this outside of work anyway to to sell toys and everything, but it's might as well do it this way.
That's why
celebrations, because it's you in early and you see it in a different light as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I've sort of said to my wife and stuff like, I wouldn't go to celebration for all the panels and things like that. I can watch them on YouTube when I get home. They're all released on YouTube. I want to go for the show floor, the big props. I want to see the cosplayers, the people. I want to meet up with people like yourself and that I've not actually managed to meet in person yet, which is insane. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be such a meetup. So many creators are going to be there. It'll be the first time to meet so many like TikTokers, YouTubers. We'll be able to make content. It'll be awesome.
And that's the thing as well. I know a few Americans who's coming over as well.
I do.
And a few YouTubers from Europe too. So it
nice.
would be an amazing meetup for everyone. You know, all over the world.
Cool. So, it's just such a cool event though, isn't it? When was the last one in the UK?
2016.
How long ago was it?
Force Awakens 2016.
What's that? So
16.
Okay, so 6 years. So it was 7 years then. Once we get to next year.
I'm pretty sure it was 2016 because they had it in London just before, because they released the Force Awakens trailer over it, didn't they? There was the Daisy Ridley and that was brought out as Rey and things like that, and they were there, and John Boyega, obviously they're from London, so that was the last time it was here.
Wow. So let's talk while we're on the subject of Star Wars. Obviously, there's the big kind of news in the Star Wars community is the Obi Wan Kenobi TV show, and we are halfway through now. So episode 3 of 6. And it went hard this week. Like it went hard. There was things happening that I was not expecting to see. But yeah, obviously, spoilers ahead for anyone that hasn't watched it. But for me personally, it's all about Vader. Like, I was really concerned about how they were going to handle Vader, because Vader to me is still the scariest one. He's still even though by today's standards his costume is quite lame looking. Like, it's not, they wouldn't design him the way they have if they were designing him today, would they? They'd try to make him a lot more kind of menacing. But there's something really menacing about him. And I don't know whether it's just because of my age or because as a kid he was so overbearing, like, kind of overwhelming and stuff. So for me, it was really about how they handled Vader. And I think that what was it called? I completely lost track of the film. What's the film called? Rogue One. Yeah. I'm like, why have I gone blank? But in Rogue One, the way they handled him in Rogue One was fantastic, because he came across as scary and dominating and all that kind of stuff. And so I was worried about how they were going to handle him in this. But for me personally, that scene in the street, like, as soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Like Vader just snapping necks, taking no prisoners. Like, I was like, okay, this Vader's serious. And I watched it with my son, who's 9 now, and he was even just like, whoa, this guy means business. And I was like, yeah. So what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts?
The bits that got the pops for me was the mention of Quinlan Vos is still alive and he's smuggling younglings out of hiding and stuff. So Quinlan Vos is still kicking about. Again, another Dave Filoni character. So hopefully we'll see him going forward. Maybe that'll be awesome. And obviously the seeing Vader's castle. We finally got to see Vader's castle and Mustafar in like live action rather than a comic book. And it looked just like the comic panel, to be fair. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was nice to hear James Earl Jones's voice back. I was really worried how they would do it, whether it was going to be James Earl Jones, whether it was going to be a Hayden Christensen voice, or how they were going to do it. But yeah, it was nice that we got James Earl Jones.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised by it, because they haven't really mentioned it, have they? We even said last week that his name's not really been mentioned at all with this. So it was, because it is so iconic. You can't really change that, can you?
No.
But I think my biggest curiosity with it is they've made such a big thing out of having Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, and so far we've seen him kind of sort of in the robe on the sand, like he was like that, wasn't he? Like that wasn't really enough. But he's penned as Darth Vader and as the as Anakin Skywalker. So what they need, there must be something more in these next 3 episodes, because they could have anyone inside that suit. It's not. Hayden Christensen's not doing anything.
Order 66 flashbacks time is what I'm thinking. There's that story of Reva's story still to unfold. She's definitely that young girl from the first scene. She's definitely that youngling that's trying to escape that place. They're trying to escape the temple. I think that's I think she's one of them kids, or she's going to be in one of them scenes before she falls to the dark side. Because they basically, Anakin was sent to kill all the younglings and then to complete his journey, but then they also captured some of the most Force-sensitive ones to become Inquisitors. So we've got that whole storyline to explore yet.
And they even make point of that, don't they, in the series? Like, for anyone that wasn't aware of that from comic books, computer games, TV shows and stuff, they reference that in this TV show, that the Inquisitors were Force-sensitive individuals that switched. So yeah, there's got to be some kind of flashback, but they've not used him much so far. Like, we've got 3 episodes now.
I also don't think this is going to be the last time you're going to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen suiting up. There's going to be more going forward. I don't think it necessarily be an Obi Wan season 2, which people have been hinting at, but I definitely think they'll make a Vader spin-off series from this with Hayden that might feature flashbacks of young Obi-Wan and things like that. They might use Ewan McGregor in some form. But I reckon that the next series going forward might be Vader from his perspective and the Inquisitors, and that would lead us right up to Rogue One.
Yeah.
And to Rogue One, to that moment in Rogue One, and to Rebels, basically. They could lead us right up to Rebels.
Yeah. And it's the same as well, Jedi Fallen Order. The second one is coming out now soon too. And the trailer looks amazing for that too. So yeah. That
does look like a good game. I don't know. I'm enjoying it as a TV show. I'll say that much. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, just because it's new content. It's new for me with Star Wars. When I was growing up, it was all very much that. And until there was a new Star Wars film coming out, you had what you had. You had the 4, 5, and 6, and then they came out of the prequels, and it was like, okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then as soon as there was a little bit of mention of, actually, they might do a Yoda film, or they might do a Han Solo film, but you only had what you had. So to have all of this content, with things like Clone Wars and Rebels and
excuse me, don't forget about the Caravan of Courage.
Even Resistance. Yeah. There's those ones as well. And the Ewoks, let's be honest, it was like all of that stuff. But any type of content is great, I think, and it's all also the same as like the Marvel stuff. That as long as there's new content coming out, I'm happy, because it's given us something that we've not had before. But yeah, what's your thoughts, Vic? Because I know that you've got a slightly different opinion on the TV show.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan so far. So I don't know. I like different things in different Star Wars, series and movies. So far, I'm not really that impressed. So don't get me wrong, it's still like 3 episodes left and everything, and it's always amazing to see Obi-Wan again. Young Leia is cute as well, as much as her character was a little bit annoying in the second episode, but I'm gonna run away from everyone. But you know, kids. But I'm not really feeling that. Like, I think to me, Mandalorian set the bar a little bit too high with like with Easter eggs and referencing to the original trilogy, and to me the writing is not amazing. It just feels like sometimes they are like, oh, okay, this we'll do. It's like one scene, the writing is amazing, and Obi-Wan's character with PTSD and everything, you know, it is really good, and how he's trying to contact with Qui-Gon and everything, how he's like in solitude, and I really love those scenes. But at the same time, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Like, I'm holding my hand with the writing is not. I'm not really that impressed, but also there are some really good scenes, you know, when they go to all the different planets, and it is nice to see some different planets other than Tatooine. So don't get me wrong, it's like I don't have problem with sand, okay? I'm not Anakin, but it's of course it's nice to see other planets as well. And some of the new characters are amazing. Like, it's just, and some of them just not written very well. So I think it could be better, but I'm not a director, I'm not a writer, so I can't really say a professional opinion. It's just my opinion so far. So yeah.
I'm personally hoping that they haven't created the fourth sister for canon fodder, because so far she's not really done a great deal and she's not really said much. And yet we know they can't kill the fifth brother, they can't kill the Grand Inquisitor, and they can't kill Reva. Really, I don't think they would, because of her story arc. So it's like they seem to have made this other random Inquisitor up, this little yellow Twi'lek lady. It's like she's probably going to be the one that gets it at some point in this series.
Yeah. But
the Grand Inquisitor we've not seen come back, have we? Like, after
he will come back. He has to do. I reckon he's going to come back with a new set of guts, just like Fennec Shan did in Boba Fett. He'll be all fixed up, and he might. The best part is they might have done that, you know, and then he comes back and he actually looks like the proper Grand Inquisitor with his like squished up little head. And imagine if they actually changed his appearance while they've got the chance now and fix it.
That would be actually really good.
And make him like that could explain why his voice is different in the Rebels, why he looks different in Rebels, because he's gone through a whole body change or something to fix the wound.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's a good shout. That isn't a bad shout at all.
Yeah. It's only one thing for me as well. Is just as much as it was cool to see Obi-Wan and Anakin, Darth Vader, to, you know, like face to face, at the same time I'm still a little bit like, I know like many people had the same concerns as well with New Hope, because of course they said like, oh, they haven't seen each other since, you know, he was a master and he was the apprentice. But it's just, I don't know, I kind of feel like I think it would have been better to have like 2 storylines, to see Vader's side, completely a different story, and Obi-Wan's, and just have like a little like storylines between, but they would never actually see each other till New Hope.
Keep doing that thing where they keep sensing one another but never actually meet one another, but they keep sort of force sensitive with one another. They're kind of chasing each other around the galaxy. That would be good. I
think
because some of the best scenes in it so far have been the bits where like really Obi-Wan's kind of like shocked to find out about Anakin, and some of those scenes are amazingly tense. So they could have done some great scenes with that.
It's just that scene as well, you know, when Obi-Wan is hiding and Darth Vader is walking down the street and snapping golden axe and everything, and like Obi-Wan sees him, but they would never actually see like meet. They wouldn't meet, so he gets away. Perfect. But I think it would be more intense, suspenseful. But yeah, we'll see. We still got 3 episodes, so it could be amazing.
I personally think sorry, go on, Jane.
No, you go.
I was going to say the one thing that I'm thinking is that we're going to see him return Leia, obviously, to Bail Organa, and then I've got a feeling that the series is going to end with like the words Darth Vader will return, or they're going to continue this in some form or another. It's too much of a cash cow. Come on, they're making so much money and headlines out of this thing. Oh, yeah. There's no way they've just done 6 episodes and that's it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And they've given us so much very quickly. Like the first 3 episodes came out very quickly, one after another. Really, we got 2 together, and then it was less than a week to the 3rd episode. We've only got 3 weeks left.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, Leia's with Reva now, isn't she? We saw at the end of the video, end of the episode, that Reva had kind of, and I like that he's kind of gone down the Leia route. To be perfectly honest, I know a lot of people thought that we were going to see what happened with Luke on his aunt and uncles and stuff, but I'm quite glad that they kind of went, that's over here and we're going to go and look at this bit over there, because it gave us something different. Like, I kind of know what happens over there. I don't need a reimagining or like the Leia side of it. I was pleasantly surprised. And there are a few scenes where she gets on your nerves, but if you've ever had a daughter that age, that's how they behave. Like,
it's very true.
It's very true. And that's what I saw online, people complaining about, she just runs away, and she's really stroppy, and she's really spoiled. And I'm like, she's a princess that's like, what, 8? Like, 7 or 8. Like, believe me, that's how they act. That is pretty much how they would act. And it's a little sass as well, like, you're old enough to be my grandfather. It's like, yes,
she definitely
exactly
plays Leia. Yeah, she definitely plays Leia well.
Yeah.
As a father with a 6-year-old daughter, I can admit that they do run away randomly, and she will just talk to random strangers and disappear. Like, wait, what are you doing? It's like, are you wanting to get abducted? What are you doing to me? Just walks up to people in the street like, hello, like, stop talking to strangers.
But it is
that innocence and that curiosity, like it's that element and that kind of from Leia's point of view, it's the curiosity and because she even says about how she's never been off planet, and so she's not seen these, walking down these places and seeing these characters and stuff, and that innocence and curiosity, but also that element of thinking that anything's really going to hurt her because the environment that she's grown up in, she's the tough one, so I thought,
your camera's completely gone, mate. Your bandwidth keeps dying on us, I think.
Oh, man.
It keeps coming up saying your bandwidth is dying. Sorry, I just thought there was like, you didn't have an image on screen for like a minute there.
What? Right, I tell you what, I'm jumping in. I thought
it's my internet, that's why.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, give me 2 secs.
Yep, no worries.
Oh, well. I'm really hoping it's going to be better. I really do. And I'm hoping. To be honest, I do see a real connection. People who didn't like Book of Boba, they love Obi Wan. Who didn't really like Book of Boba Fett, they love Obi Wan. And people who liked Boba, they don't really like Obi Wan. It's crazy, this connection.
I personally, I liked the characters in Boba because I enjoy. I love Fennec Shand and I love like BK and that. But I didn't like the story of Boba.
Story,
So I'm one of them people. But I'm so nostalgic and loving Anakin and stuff and seeing Obi-Wan.
Oh God, yeah. It's like, I got in the prequels too, and Clone Wars.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether Reva might end up crossing over into other things, like, because she's quite a young actress. I wonder whether they're going to use her maybe she's one of the Inquisitors that ends up chasing down Cal Kestis in the new game. They could use her in so many other things now.
That's what I was hoping as well. They're going to bring Cal Kestis in somehow.
I was hoping that.
Yeah, I know. I remember I watched your video about it.
I was hoping so bad that it was going to be in this.
I know. Okay, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Does that sound better? Yeah. And what did I miss? What did I miss?
We were just chatting. We were sort of saying that Vic was saying that people that don't like so you explain it, you're better than me. Go on.
So it's basically I see a connection. People who didn't like Book of Boba, they like Obi-Wan. But people who liked Book of Boba, they don't like Obi-Wan. The series, the two series, I had so many people, because when I watched the third episode, I was like, is it me, or I'm not feeling that, I'm just feeling meh after watching Obi-Wan? And I had so many people replying back to my story, and it's like, well, it's, and it's true. It's like, you don't have to like every Star Wars movies or series, but personally, I didn't like Book of Boba, and I had so many people saying that, and I'm like, I see a connection.
No, it's interesting.
I was basically admitting that, admittedly, I liked Book of Boba for the characters, but not necessarily the story of it. I thought the story was kind of a bit meh at times, but I liked the introduction of seeing some of the like your BK, and obviously getting to see Bounty Hunter guy. What's it called? Cobb Van? No.
Cad Bane.
Seeing Cad Bane in live action and stuff like that, and obviously getting to see more of Fennec Chan. I enjoyed all that kind of stuff, but the story, I didn't like that. I wasn't a big fan of the storyline.
I'm the same.
Sorry. Sorry. It's like it's Space Gizmo puts the Rancor to sleep. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Space Gizmo. He's officially now nicknamed Space Gizmo from now on. Space Gizmo.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I think one thing that we should talk about is all the hate, though, and all the negativity that's addressed to it. And I just think that, we were all saying beforehand, but, like it or love it, I don't understand the hate. I genuinely don't. And I hate to say it out loud, but it's only the Star Wars kind of fandom that have this really kind of toxic levels. Like there are some really horrible people that claim themselves as Star Wars fans. And I just think, like, if there was any franchise out there that doesn't leave room for like racism and homophobia and all that kind of stuff, it's Star Wars, because literally you walk into the cantina, how can you be like racist? I know that a lot of them are made up, but it's kind of like there's literally every color of the rainbow in there. Like how can you decide to be racist in a universe, be it a created universe that's so diverse for different reasons? It's beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. But
it is.
I think it's a shame. And I think, did you see the, I think it was Instagram stories or TikTok or something that Ewan McGregor did, that he did one.
Yeah.
And I think that sums it up perfectly, that Obi Wan Kenobi was the most watched Disney Plus premiere show. Like and I know Disney Plus has only been around kind of a year and a half now, 2 years, maybe a push. Yeah. But even still, that's still a title to claim. Do you know what I mean? The most watched premiere. But in that same video, he had to address the fact that there's so much hate for Moses, and I just think it's such a shame. Like, but what do you do? Do you know what I mean? I
love the fact that he said that whilst at Celebration there was nothing but love, and that and like the thing is, it's very easy when you're on the internet to be a keyboard warrior and say horrible things to someone, when it is, then at places like Celebration, they wouldn't get away with that. You wouldn't get away with it. So it's just people online being people online. It's the internet being the internet, and the horrible place it can be at times.
It is.
But just
I understand.
The Star Wars.
Yeah, sorry.
Go on, sorry. No, Vic, you go ahead.
No, it's just I understand people don't like characters, don't like all the different characters. Okay, not your favorite, but going after the people who play them, that is disgusting. So
it just it makes no sense at all. It really doesn't. And I think I don't know, because it really is like Star Wars, like the Star Wars fan community, which I'll quite happily say that I'm a part of, like, as this pair of you would as well. But it seems to be one of the only communities that has that real, like, really obvious kind of toxic element to it, which is really, I just, you don't see it in other fandoms, and I don't know why that is. I don't know whether
I think there's more gatekeeping in Star Wars than any other franchise on the planet. It's the gatekeepers that are usually the ones that are the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Unless you can tell me how many buttons there are on the side pocket of a Jedi's robe.
How many different like tree species are on planet Endor?
It's like I don't care. Just give me an Obi Wan Yoda or whatever it's called.
I know so many people out there that despise what they call the Disney side of Star Wars, which is like your Galaxy's Edge and the made up stuff that Disney's put in. I fell in love with that side of it, like your Star Tours. I collect all the Star Tours merch. I love Star Tours. The fact that has become canon now. They've got the hotel, which has now become canon because that's where Princess Leia and Han Solo had their honeymoon, for God's sake. That's now become canon. And it's like all these little things, they sound ridiculous at the time, but they slowly find their way into the full canon. And then I love all that new stuff. The fact that Disney could have easily just made a 6-story building and said, there's your Star Wars Hotel, Stormtroopers on the door. They didn't. They made it a galactic Star Cruiser, gave it a storyline, a dinner show, and did it properly in justice. Yeah. I don't know how anyone could hate a company that's trying to build a universe rather than just merchandise. They could have easily just slapped Darth Vader's face on everything and sold it. But they didn't. They made Galaxy's Edge its own universe, so they didn't have to interfere with the current timelines and worlds. They made their own, which, I love stuff like that. And it irritates me that you get all these people on the internet that keyboard warrior are like, it's Disney Star Wars. I'm like, behave yourself.
But also as well, that it's the big thing for me, and this only came through becoming a parent as well. And I know like we've had loads of chats like this, Sorrell, but I think it changed it for me becoming a parent, because you know what, I loved the original 3 films because they weren't old films when I was young, but they were older, but they were kind of already at that kind of cult classic area. You know, in the 80s they were kind of classed as this is Star Wars is a cool thing. Then the prequels came along, and then that was kind of I was of the age where it was like, this was my version of Star Wars. It was like, I've watched them, I've grown up with it, this is my version. And there was all that negativity that came with it. And I just remember thinking at the time, like, it's CGI'd, and Yoda isn't a puppet, like, but this is modern Star Wars. This is how Star Wars would be. And I remember watching them and thinking that they still flow. I can still go from 3 into 4 and enjoy it as a fan. But the Disney side of it, for me as a parent, that's what's kept Star Wars alive for the next generation. There's no arguing that. If you've got any young children around you, the Rey, the Kylo, the Finn, they're the characters that are keeping it alive for the next generation. Because, like I said as well, you look at Darth Vader in the 70s, in the 80s, he was a scary bad guy. But you hold him up now next to modern films, he's not intimidating looking. There's no two ways about it. It's not an intimidating character, and it's only what they're doing with it now in the modern cinema and in the modern TV shows that's keeping that kind of legacy alive. Because at some point, these gatekeeper fans will all die off. It's like they will all disappear at some point, and then what are you left with? You're left with the next generation, and you want the next generation to keep those stories alive and keep those characters alive. And I saw it in my son watching episode 3, because he grew up with Kylo Rens and the Reys and everything. So Darth Vader, he knew who he was. He's seen all the original films and he's watched it, but it was kind of like, right, this is Anakin, this is his grandfather, this is the legacy side of it. And when that episode 3 happened, Darth Vader walked down and was snapping necks, it was almost like my son was like, yeah, okay, there's no explanation. Like, this guy's the OG, but I think that these gatekeeper and these toxic people need to understand that without that Disney side of it, the franchise will die. Like it will disappear if you're too much of a gatekeeper. If you try to just keep it, do you see where I'm sort of going with it? You need to have that evolution.
Well, that's the circle of life. The original trilogy people didn't really like the prequels. The prequel fans, didn't really like the sequels. And now we are watching all the series. So it's basically...
And everybody likes Mandalorian. Like,
come on, Space Gizmos.
Yeah. But but you're right. You are right. And I just think it's such a shame. I just think, again, I don't mean to bang on, but when I was younger, and I'm not really ancient, but when I was younger, being a geek and being into this kind of stuff would have got you beaten up. Do you know what I mean? The kind of stuff that we're on the internet now talking about, that people make their full living off of. This is the kind of stuff that would get you beaten up. So I didn't have a huge amount of friends that I could talk about Star Wars with or talk about Marvel with and stuff. And you look at it now and you just sort of think these kids go into school, and if you're not dressed up as the Mandalorian for World Book Day, like you're the rubbish kid, like, you know what I mean? And I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say because I'm a girl, but you can imagine being like a geek and a nerd as a girl. It was even harder. I was literally sitting in the corner reading Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and everything. And I remember when I watched Star Wars, I had to go with my mom because no one else wanted to come with me to watch Star Wars, like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, because nobody wanted to come with me to the cinema to watch it. So I went with my mom. And of course, in every 2 minutes, my mom was like, so who's that? So who's that? And I'm like, oh my God. But at least she came with me, so I appreciate it. But But nowadays, it's so much nicer that how people get together, and it's actually it is so much nicer. Seriously.
My daughter's going through the same thing now, basically. So she's 6, and she got invited to a dress-up birthday party. And she was adamant, I'm going as Batman. I'm like, do you want to go as Batgirl? No, I'm going as Batman. I'm like, fair dues. We bought the Batman costume, shoved the Batman costume on it. But everyone's like, did they not have Batgirl? Like, she wanted to be Batman.
Okay, but it depends which one. Is it Adam West?
No, it was a Dark Knight all black one. It was like a Dark Knight one. But yeah, it was just funny. Like you look at now and just like, she's a massive. It's all my influence, obviously. Lynn's not into any of this stuff. She's not into the sort of Disney side of it. So I mean, it's just funny that she's picked up all my little things over the years. She doesn't want to play with Barbie. She plays with. She got a Ray doll. The other dolls of the Force of Destiny dolls. She plays with them, and she's got like an old 8080 that she plays with, and she's got like Star Wars toys in her room. She doesn't play with like the traditional girls' toys. So I think it's. And like you say, her Luke Skywalker is Rey. She loves Rey. And when we took her to Galaxy's Edge and she got to meet Rey and Chewbacca, I've got the photo on my Facebook. And there's a photo of her in the middle of Rey and Chewie, just not letting go of Chewie's legs, like, my Chewie. She thought he was real. Like, she was loving that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so cool to see it now.
Wait, the Chewie there isn't real. Sorry, don't be doing this. But no, I do agree.
The one they have in the parks is like screen accurate. It is so crazily good. The one they have in the park. You can met the noises and everything that come out of it is nuts.
I met because as I said, it was just before Galaxy's Edge, and I think I met Kylo, Chewie, BB-8. Yeah, at the launch bay stuff. And that was just brilliant. That was amazing. And then obviously all the marching and that. And I was like, I want to get Galaxy's Edge. Come on, maybe we could delay our flight, but with a family. But no, I agree. I think it's amazing having the freedom, I think, shall we say, to just enjoy this stuff nowadays. It's and it saddens me to see the negativity online. That was what we kind of started this chat off about, and that it really does sadden me, as I'm sure it does lots of people, because we've moved so as a geek, as a nerd, as a dork, or whatever it is you identify as in that respect. We've moved so far forward because it is acceptable. And, don't get me wrong, being into Star Wars and superheroes, it's not going to be a life-changing, like, acceptance. We're just happy that people like us. But it's so nice to sort of come that far that what?
As I say, have you noticed that people are starting to take the next step now? We've got the people that have kind of getting the expendable cash now, that grew up with Funko Pops, that are now wanting action figures, and we've slowly corrupted them now and brought them into our side.
Yeah.
More and more
That's
people every day I get messaging me saying, how do I get into the Black Series line? Like, I get so many messages daily like, welcome to my world.
Because I work in like a toy store, a collectibles toy store. I see kids coming in, literally they know so many characters from either anime or Marvel or Star Wars, and it's like, that's amazing, and they are really proud of it. And to see the parents as well, who are like, oh, well done, and it's like, that's amazing, to actually like encourage that in the kids as well, to be themselves and just be proud of like what, you know, they actually like to play with these things. And it's like not like, you know, when you was growing up maybe, and it was like, oh, you're a nerd, and you know, it is a little bit different now, and it's actually nice to see it.
It is, and that's why this negativity and this toxic kind of opinions, it just needs to stop. It's like it's not achieving anything, it's not doing anything, it's not making a difference. So just stop it. Like just stop it. You're giving us a bad name, whoever it is that's doing it. But so talking about Obi-Wan, then, we got any massive predictions about where this is going to go? Anyone like adamant that something is happening in the next 3 episodes, or are we all kind of just along for the ride?
So my big prediction is that we're going to get some form of flashback scenes to Order 66 with Anakin unmasked, de-aged, you know, Christensen. And the thing is, she's going to hear. I think Reva's going to be in there, whether she's a child or whether, because I don't think she would be a child. She wouldn't be that little, would she? Because how old is she meant to be in the program, do we reckon? I mean, them kids were pretty young.
She looks, I don't know. Like, how old is Obi-Wan supposed to be?
That's what I'm trying to work out. Like, how old is she actually meant to be?
Hang on. So
she looks more like 20, mid-20s, I would say.
Yeah, so back then she must have been about 10, which is, about right then, isn't it? So them kids that were like escaping or trying to escape the temple, I think she's either with them or something to do with them. When Anakin comes in, I've got a feeling she's going to be the one youngling that stands up to him, and he's sort of like, you know, draws a saber and lights it, and obviously he's going to look at her like, what the hell are you doing? And all the others around, she'll shout to the others, no, run, and she'll be the one that stands her ground, and because of that, he's got more respect for her, and he abducts her to become like one of the Inquisitors. And that's why she's different to the others, because she was a Jedi that's been forced to become one of them. And that's why she constantly always wants to like be Darth Vader's like little apprentice, doesn't she really?
Herself, yeah.
She sees herself as his apprentice almost. I think that's because of that youngling sort of link with him.
What was it that the fifth brother said to her about or is it the Grand Inquisitor? One of them said about her, that where she had come from and what she had to prove.
And the gutters.
Yeah. So where does that come in though? So if we work on the idea that all of the Inquisitors are ex-Jedis or ex-Force sensitive people.
Not all of them are. Not all of them are. Some of them are. Not all of them were. Some of them are just naturally, they've grown up in that world where there's no Jedi Order, so who do you turn to? And they've just been picked up along the way and been taught to be evil from a young age.
But even
you saw them doing that in Rebels, where Ezra's at that he's at that academy, and they were like picking out the Force sensitive kids for Vader's special project, and they were like picking out the Force sensitive kids. So they were kind of doing that at a young age anyway.
But where would the whole gutters thing come from? That's what I don't understand. Like why? Because that implies that she's below everyone else.
I think she's the only Inquisitor at this time that was a fallen Jedi. All the rest of them have come from Vader's special project with the Emperor. They're all like, they see themselves as like full-on dark side, and she's still an apprentice dark side user.
Yeah, that's
I wonder.
Say
go on. No, go on, Vic.
No, it's just that because of course the Inquisitors and everything, they hate the Jedi so much. They can use it as a bad word for it as well. So you came from the gutters, so they can use that for the Jedi temple. They could use that and just say, well, you came from the gutters, you came from the worst place, really. So they could use it for that too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder whether there's like a cowardly element to it, so that she, when Order 66 is taking place, that she hides, or she like kind of puts someone else, but like sacrifices someone else in front of her. Do you know that kind of thing? Like looks out for herself, and then kind of begs her way in, and therefore that's why she's always looking for this constant approval or something. That was my thinking, that there's going to be more to it than just she was one of them. That there's something to that story that I hope they flesh out in this series. I think the big cameo, if I think we're pretty much all on the same, is going to be Qui-Gon. I think if there's going to be a Luke Skywalker moment, as they call it now, I think that's going to be Qui-Gon. Because why make such a big deal of referencing that bit at the beginning where they did all the callbacks? Like, if he wasn't going to touch base with Qui-Gon, there was no need to reference the fact that that's what he went there to do, you know. So
we know he definitely talks to him at some point, because obviously in the storyline, Qui-Gon's who teaches Yoda and Obi-Wan to sort of like become Force ghosts, isn't it? Don't they kind of learn that from him? Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah. There's something along them lines.
There's something along that line, yeah. How to materialize in the Force or something, they call it. So that storyline's still to come out a little bit as well. But yeah, I'm genuinely hoping more than anything, if we're going to get to see something to get us excited for Mandalorian, I think would be a flashback scene of Order 66 where we see Grogu, and maybe Quinlan Vos is the one that we see. And you know, when Grogu has that memory, and there's somebody fighting the troopers off, I wonder if that could be Quinlan Vos. And that obviously the planet the seed now that Quinlan's helping younglings escape.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the reason Baby Yoda survived that entire thing. Because he might not have been necessarily, he might have been near the temple at the time or something to get there to do it.
The thing is that tying Grogu in makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because from a story perspective. Are they going to avoid? Well. Yeah. Are they going to avoid doing it because they don't want people to go, oh, you just thrown Baby Yoda in? Like, it's just, you know.
It's necessary for the storylines. It's necessary for the storylines.
I agree. But I agree. It'd be great. Even if you just saw him, even if you just kind of, you have to rewatch the scene and you see that there he is with so-and-so. You know what I mean? If it was just there in the background or something, they wouldn't even, for me, they wouldn't even have to make a big deal out of it, as long as, you know, when you see these articles where like, did you spot so-and-so? And it's like, oh my gosh, like you go back, you watch it, how did I miss that? That's brilliant. Yeah. But I don't know. And I would like to see like a Mark 1 kind of Obi Wan, Darth Vader, Anakin, Darth Vader kind of thing. I don't know why. It just really upsets me that he goes from kind of Anakin to like burnt on the lava pit to then Darth Vader. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to see some kind of transition stage myself, but I don't think I will. I think it's just me.
Now, this isn't my theory. This was my brother's theory, but I love it a lot. So he reckons, you know, because Reva hates Obi Wan Kenobi, and we don't know why yet. Yeah. We're all just assuming it's because she likes Vader and Vader hates Obi Wan. But I've got a feeling, you know, he does that thing where he releases the message. You know, this is a warning to all Jedi. Please do not go back to the temple. That time has passed. He releases that just after Order 66 has happened, meaning that nobody would come to the temple to save them. So I wonder whether that message is sent out across the galaxy and then nobody comes back to the temple. So Reva is just left alone and no one's coming to save her. And she has to fend for herself. And that's where the hate for Obi-Wan comes from. She hears that message maybe in the temple somehow, or she hears it. You know, nobody's coming to save you kind of thing.
There's so much they could do with her.
That could start her like journey to the dark side, like, which means nobody's going to save me. You know what I mean? Because the Jedi bring them there as a younglings, they separate them from the family, as we learned from Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff, and then they're just taught to be Jedi. She's a youngling. She's not been there very long, and now she's just been abandoned by them after being separated from her family where she was safe. There's a very deep connection of hatred that could come from that.
That would be really good, actually.
It would give her character some needed emotion as well. some explanation of why she hates him.
Yeah, exactly. Explanation why she hates him.
At the moment, it's like she's hating for the sake of hating. We need a reason for that hate.
Yes. Yeah.
For it, what I found as well is that we all know that, you know, Reva and Moses, like, she's a key part of the series. But if you take away all the press pictures and all the kind of interviews and stuff beforehand, if I was just watching it, I wouldn't necessarily pick her out as one of the main characters right now, because there's so much going on. Like, she's not had any more screen time than Leia, for example, or she's not had a huge amount of screen time more than the other brothers and night brothers and sisters and stuff. So I wonder whether there is something in episode 4, 5, or 6 that really stands her out as like one of the key cast members. And I hope that if that is the case, whatever it is they do is going to make the haters kind of really eat their hat. Do you know what I mean? Where they kind of just, they're then just kind of like, okay, yeah, I spoke well too soon. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and it's a good show. It's a good show. So the next episode is on Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesdays are the Obi Wan Wednesdays. Before we move on to the other show, let's talk about Black Series quickly, because we've got a couple of extra Black Series releases, which were, of course, Obi Wan and Darth Vader. Yep. Tell us a little bit more about those, because obviously you know your Black Series better than me.
Yeah, so the Darth Vader they're releasing is basically, it's like the New Hope Darth Vader with a few different color changes. Admittedly, there's not a lot they can do with Vader in the armor. It's iconic. They can't really do it with it. No. So it's just I'm pointing on my wall. You can't see what I'm pointing at. It's that jet black, a New Hope version.
Yeah,
that's the one.
There you go.
Is that the one with the red? Is that the one with the red visor eyes?
You know, I can't even tell in this light. I don't think so. I think this is the one with the black.
So there was the re-release one that came out after that one then, that had the red visor eyes, and that's basically the one that's been re-released. It's very cool. It's keeping up with his appearance from like Rebels and stuff.
I need to know now. Yeah, you know what? These look red.
Yeah, so it's the Rebels one. It's one that came out at the time of Rebels. Other than that, we got the new Obi Wan with his new nice piece of cloth. Yeah, we got the new Obi Wan, which has wound a lot of people up because it is an exclusive. So a lot of people in America aren't happy.
Oh, where's it exclusive to?
It's Target, which is touchy subject in America. Yeah. Target aren't the best. But over here in the UK, I think In Demand Toys have had it so far. I'm not sure if anywhere else has. I haven't really been keeping up with it, as I don't pre-order anymore. I haven't kept up with that news. I was waiting for it to drop, and then I'll grab one. Those are the only two that kind of came out. The Vader helmet went up for pre-order, along with a bunch of other VC stuff this week. That was announced at Celebration. All that stuff went out for pre-order. And then they released the new Saberforge stuff. So there's a new Obi Wan Kenobi Saberforge, which has got like a weird cross-guard lightsaber and stuff for kids. And then they released the Vader one, but the Vader one isn't electronic. It's a basic one, which annoys me. I've got the old Vader one, which is electronic. So I'd say go to Smith's and buy the electronic one. It's cheaper. Yeah. Because I don't get it. I don't get pricing at the minute is weird. So basically, the new lightsaber, to get a Vader kid saber that doesn't light up is going to run you at $18.99, I believe. Then if you go to like Asda Smith's right now and get the old one, it's only 15 quid because it's old and they're getting rid of it. Doesn't make sense.
Crazy.
So yeah. But yeah, those are the Saberforge ones that pull apart and rebuild. They've had different names over the years: Build-A-Blade, Blade Builders, Saberforge. Now it's called. I think in the parks it were called Build Their Own Saber, and they're all compatible with one another. So if you've got one that's from the parks or one that's an old Build-A-Blade, they'll still connect. They're all still compatible.
It's just I'm so surprised that line hasn't blown up bigger than it. I'm really shocked. I remember getting my boy one of the like Blade Builder packs, whatever, but it had the Inquisitor kind of spinner inside it, and that's still one of the best lightsaber toys I've played with, because it's got like a little lock in it, and you can spin it, and then you can press the button, and it locks solid, and so you can build I can essentially build that that HasLab project lightsaber with builder blade pieces, and it spins. But yeah, and it's just, and I always win the lightsaber fights when I get it spin. Like it's like you're not beating me on that one. Let's be honest.
The problem is with the sabers, it's hard, like because like for those big sets like that, you're talking about 30 quid. You can go to Amazon and get one that lights up like the one you've got and the one I've got. They're not real lightsabers. They're not official, but they're a lightsaber at the end of the day, and they do the job. And they're only about 40 quid to get off Amazon. So it's like, do you get the crappy one, or do you pay £10 extra for one that looks realistic? So that's the thing.
My one's a little bit more expensive than 40 quid. I'm not gonna lie, I paid like 140 quid for mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine was from AliExpress. Is AliExpress? Yeah. AliExpress, and it was a two-piece one that you put together with 2 blades, and they only charged me 45 quid for it.
This is NeoPixel. It's like NeoPixel.
Oh, I ain't got NeoPixel. I'm not. I haven't got NeoPixel kind of money.
No, it's NeoPixel. It's like, it all singing, all dancing. Like, it even plays music. Like you can press the button and it will play music while you light up and stuff like that. Like it is really cool. And I was just like, I'm not gonna go as far as the official Disney and Star Wars ones, because they are expensive money for just a prop. But I'll kind of go middle of the range. So I've got a good lightsaber, but
the Disney ones are crazy, Joe. You can't do anything with them. They're too big. I've tried so many times with the Ahsoka ones just to do a basic spin with it in my hand, and it's too big and heavy. I keep dropping the damn thing. I'm afraid it's going to break on me. So I keep going back to as much I've got these big expensive sabers like the Builder saber and stuff that I did. I keep going back to my cheap little 30 quid one, spin it around. I don't care if it drops.
When did you go, Ash? When did you go?
March.
To March. Was
it March or May? I can't remember when I went. When did I go? March, April
I went
time.
in May.
Yeah, March, April time.
Went in March. Yeah. Were you there when they released the Carcastis Legacy saber?
No. This is a touchy damn subject. So what happened was, it was the day that I was leaving, right? And we were checking out the hotel, and my mum and Lynn were packing up all the rooms and doing all the suitcases, and I'm a pain in the ass on that day because I don't know what to do with myself, as I can't lift anything with my leg and stuff, so I'm pointless. So Lynn was like, take your scooter and go to Galaxy's Edge and have a last sort of ride on Millennium Falcon or whatever and have some fun and come back at 2:00 for the 3:00 coach for the airport. I'm like, nah, it's all right. I'll hang around the pool with Paige and I'll keep Paige busy while you guys pack. I then get to the airport and find out that not only was he there that morning, the saber went on sale at 7 a.m. and they were all meeting in front of the Falcon with Ashley Eckenstein. So I was like, too little, too late. But I was gutted because I would have bought one.
Sorry, I gotta say it is amazing. So I'm not a huge fan of Legacy sabers, but the Carcastis one is really good because you can get the double one as well, the double-edged one, and that one is the heaviest saber I ever held. Is so heavy. It's like pure, like just a chunk of metal. Like it's crazy. It's really heavy. It is beautiful, but it's a bit pricey as well.
Yeah, it's very pricey.
It's a bit pricey, but it's a really nice.
It's just what I found really funny is that because the original lightsabers, the original ones from New Hope and stuff, they were like camera flash handles, weren't they? Have you ever seen these videos? And they haven't even changed the design. They're just taking them off the camera and that's it. So when you think of building it, I've seen loads of videos of people where they go down to B&Q or B&M or something like that and build and that was always my intention. I was kind of like, you know what, I've got my lightsaber, I'm going to build a decent hilt, but I just haven't got around to it. I will at some point.
Oh, I think your internet's dying again a little bit, mate. You're getting a bit jittery on us.
No, I'm here.
That facial expression that it froze on was brilliant.
You're back.
You're back. It was the way you sort of froze really weird on screen. I'm here. What was I going to say? I know what you mean with that kind of building thing, because one thing I've always wanted to do is build a droid, because I love droids. I would love to build a proper, you see these people at Comic Cons with that have built an R2 unit. I would love to build a droid and like work on it and fully motorize it and everything. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. That'd be very cool. Now you got my. Now I'm thinking about what I want to build.
Do it.
Well, it's like I've got that 3D printed one that I'm needing to assemble, and there's like I was thinking like this can be my first step of like trying something. I want to like hollow out his head to put like electronics in it. So I want it to be a soundboard in there, and I want to light up his little eyes so you can like flashes and stuff, just like in the program. And I want to somehow make a thing that it clips onto my shoulder. And I was thinking of like making something that you can put underneath the shirt and then have magnets on his feet, so it's not like sits on.
So have you seen how people walking around in Disney now? So they have what they sell in Disney parks now. It's literally a little like plush figure.
Yeah.
They make all the different plush figures, and there is a little magnet in the plush figure, and you put it underneath your shirt.
There we go.
The magnet holds it together.
That's what I need.
Between your shirt, and everyone is walking around with the different like the Florida little bird, orange bird, and everything. So they all have it. Cool. So that's actually a really good idea. I think you should do that. With like a magnet, little droid
on my shoulder. That'd be awesome.
That's very cool.
That's cool.
So we talked about Obi Wan loads. We were talking about Star Wars has massively taken over, which is cool. But just on the side note, we had Miss Marvel is coming to Disney Plus as well on Wednesday. So the same day as Obi Wan. So we get episode 4 of Obi Wan Kenobi and episode 1 of Miss Marvel. And I'm massively hyped for it. I know again there's a bit of controversy over it. They've changed their power set slightly and all that kind of stuff. But I think it looks fun. I think it looks enjoyable. And the guys at Hasbro revealed that Miss Marvel is one of the figures in that wave alongside Hawkeye and Moon Knight and all of that stuff. So yeah, they're doing stuff with her. They're wanting to build that side of the universe. And I'm excited for it. I've not got any. I'm going into it with no sort of anticipation, like no preconceived ideas. I'm just going to go into it and take it for what it is on face value. But I love the Kamala Khan kind of storyline in the comic books. It was very reminiscent of kind of Peter Parker and Spider-Man and those kind of like, somebody that's, not your average hero kind of picking up the hero reins and stuff. And I think it's great for especially kind of young girls as well, sort of seeing this recognizable character that's going to be a big player in the Marvel universe, let's be honest. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, 100% behind it. And I can't wait to get the figure as well. I've got all the Miss Marvels, so just
getting America Chavez in it and then getting Miss Marvel means we're ever stepping closer to Spider-Gwen territory, because they're all friends in the comics. We are stepping ever so closely, because the multiverse thing, they can do it now. They can just pull her in very easily with the multiverse theory.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see them do it. I'm waiting. Yeah. It needs to happen. She's
coming.
The female equivalent of Spider-Man now. She's just yeah.
And she's so as far as the Spider character goes, she is so popular in both for adults and children. I really hope that they bring her across. But I'm glad that they've not brought her across first. I'm glad that they're bringing up the other characters and giving us so much of a vast spectrum of characters as well, which is great. Thor as well. Thor: Love and Thunder should have been out by now if they were going by their original release dates, which is a shame. But we still got a month to wait on that. But yeah, Marvel side of it has been very quiet. Apart from Miss Marvel, it's obviously around the corner, and that one reveal, it's been very quiet. So
waiting for obviously May is a hard time to do anything that's not Star Wars. We've just had Celebration, Obi Wan Kenobi, May the 4th, Celebration reveals.
Yeah,
they're just waiting. There's no point releasing something Marvel in the midst of all that. So
give it
another week. Give it another week, and that obviously Miss Marvel will launch. The heat for Obi Wan will start dying off a little bit as we come to the end. It'll be perfect time for Hasbro to release a load of new products.
But they announced as well the I Am Groot shorts as well. They've got an official release date for August 11th, I think it was, or August 10th, which is, you know, essentially right around the corner. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Have you seen the Lego set?
What, the Lego?
The Lego Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lego Groot. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have a look now.
There's a life-size Lego Groot, like baby Groot. And the thing is, I saw that and then I was like, almost pulled the trigger on it, but then they announced the Lego BD1. And I was like, Lego BD1, need the Lego BD1.
Oh, I didn't see the BD1.
Oh, Lego BD1 was announced a celebration and it looks amazing.
This one?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Now look up Lego BD1, Vic.
Lego BD1.
Look up Lego BD1.
That
was announced a celebration. Like, it looks cool.
With droids and stuff, like it works. Like you can get that kind of. Yeah. Whereas with characters like Groot, you can see that it's Lego. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not. Whereas look at the Mjolnir they did, looks fantastic because it's all angles and stuff. But yeah. That's the one,
This is so cute. I want it.
That looks
Lego
really
BD1
cool.
looks sick because it, like you say, because it's a droid, it works and it looks like BD1. It doesn't look like a Lego set. It looks like BD1.
Well, I'm sorry, but Lego Grogu, I'm so sorry if I offend anyone, but that looks so scary. Like the mouth. It's just like, no.
I'm with you on that. No, I am with you on that. It's you know, Lego sets are fantastic, but since they've gone into the kind of modular build and the replica of props, because they've done all the gauntlets and stuff as well, haven't they? Like for Marvel and droids, perfect. But that Yoda as well. Do you remember the Yoda they did a few years ago?
Yeah, the Yoda.
Like I couldn't get behind it because I was like, it looks like a Lego Yoda. Like it's great if you like Yoda and Lego, like fantastic. But yeah, it's so the Groot I was okay with. I was kind of like, you know what, if I got sent it, I wouldn't complain. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things that I'd happily display it, but it's not something I would rush out to queue up for at a Lego store. Whereas the BD1, arguably, like I think that's more of a run out and queue up for it kind of item. But let's sideline a little bit, because there was a film that came out recently that we've all watched, but we haven't spoken about a huge amount, because when we did bring it up, Ryan, who isn't here yet, so we can, you know, ridicule his name, we didn't go into great detail because he hadn't seen it. But it's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Come on. Was that not just a cinematic piece of genius? I
don't know how that didn't make it to the big screen. I don't know how they didn't release that theatrically.
Yeah, exactly. I'm shocked that they didn't. I really am. Well, remember we were on a show, weren't we? And I thought that it was coming out in the cinema, and you were like, "No, it's on Disney Plus now." I was like, "Well, I'm going."
That's Disney's. Yeah, I think that's kind of Disney's step one more to doing away with cinema release, maybe, because obviously they did it with Encanto. Encanto came on Disney Plus first, then had a theatrical release in the UK, but it was already on. Was it like Boxing Day or Christmas Day or something? They released it, and it went global overnight because of they just released it at the perfect time. And I think Disney could, with Disney Plus, they could easily skip cinemas now, I think, and get away with it.
I just think it's such a good subscription. Like, I don't know how anyone could hate on it. Like, it's affordable for what you get. It's so vast. There's new stuff being added to it all the time. Like, it's fantastic. But Chip and Dale, like, as a prime example, that would have been worth your subscription, even if you weren't subscribed to it. You know what I mean? Like, it was. I love Chip and Dale. I when I was younger, Chip and Dale, Scrooge McDuck, you know, DuckTales, like all those Disney, the kind of Disney adventure cartoons they were. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of group. I absolutely loved. And Chip and Dale for me was, I don't know, it was definitely one of my favourites. So when I saw that they were doing it, and one of them was CGI'd, and they had normal voices, and I was like, "Oh, are you gonna ruin something here? Are you gonna ruin my childhood?" The way they did it just had me in stitches, like absolute stitches. And I watched it with my kids who hadn't watched Chip and Dale as the TV show, so this was their kind of introduction to Chip and Dale, and they loved it as well. Like, yeah. What did you think, Vic? Anyway.
Oh, I loved it. It's like, it's the same as well. I grown up. I think we are all in that age where we grown up in the 90s Disney afternoon, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, Chip and Dale, like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin for me is the biggest. It's just
Tailspin.
It's the best.
How did I forget Tailspin?
Exactly. And I have one of the biggest Tailspin collection. I'm gonna show you one day. But I love Chip and Dale, and it's just, I think in this movie all the references to, you can tell it was like basically written to our age, but to young kids they can enjoy it as well. So it's like, young kids nowadays, their parents are probably our age, right?
Yeah.
So they just wrote this movie perfectly for both age.
It reminded me a lot about. It reminded me a lot of like how they wrote Shrek 1. You know when Shrek came out, and it was accessible if you were an adult to watch it and laugh at it, but the jokes go over the kids' heads. Yeah. And that this kind of felt the same sort of thing. Like the whole Peter Pan thing is creepy when you think about it. It's quite sinister, that, isn't it? But it goes over kids' heads. They don't really see that as Peter Pan, but us as adults think that's brilliant. That he was the villain.
I'm sorry. I think Ugly Sonic steals the show. That was hilarious.
That was genius, though. How they took something that was so hated and so controversial and made him like a standout star of the show. But also like they had Tigra as well. Tigra. I never pronounce it. I always call her Tigra because probably when you're reading comic books, you kind of give the characters names how you think they sound. Yeah. But they had her. And she's a member of the Avengers and whatnot, and had her as this Comic-Con. I thought the Comic-Con element was just such a genius idea, like absolutely. And the Seth Rogen bit as well, where all of his characters were on the screen at the same time. It was just little things like that were just fantastic. But there's something like 150 cameos or references in it, and some of them are really obscure as well, like Randy from South Park, and Beavis and Butthead. There's Phineas and Ferb, but all these. It's Disney, but it's still very kind of separated. Roger Rabbit, obviously, at the beginning. Yeah. It was just. Go on, Ash.
I would just say for me, this was like a modern Roger Rabbit. Because, like, do you remember when Roger Rabbit came out and you saw Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse together, like talking to each other? That was unheard of back then. And it's like, it felt like that. It's like they've managed to pull these characters that shouldn't be together and somehow shove them all together in one big cartoon. It's crazy how they did it.
It was amazing. Like, one of my favorite scenes I was laughing on so much is when they go to the other side of the town and they saw the bad CGI animation character from the early noughties. And it's just, it was so good because it's so true. Like, that was so funny.
And then I like they saw the cats from the musical fighting in the alleyway as well. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it literally, like, I think if you stop every second frame, you see a reference to a movie or a character or something. It's crazy. It was really good.
One thing that I've got to give Disney props for doing, they kept up with the fact that whichever characters had been remade in CGI remained as that version. So it was like the old version didn't exist. So like Baloo was in his Jungle Book movie look rather than the Tailspin look. And they made reference to that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like when you saw Pumbaa later on, it was the actual Lion King live action version. They kind of kept that going throughout the whole thing. Like some of the characters have now been digitally changed and had work done. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I loved it. That was really good.
I loved how the the CGI was like the plastic surgery as well. That's what was so clever.
Yeah, it's like I love how like Paul Rudd turned up as well as Ant-Man.
Oh,
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah. It was just very clever. It's just, and there was something really kind of like really wholesome and connected to the original series. Like I felt like I was watching a continuation. It didn't feel like a spin-off or a reboot or anything like that. It genuinely felt like I was watching the characters from the TV show that I'd watched when I was younger, and I think that's very, very clever and very, very well done.
Vic,
and even just like the side characters as well.
So Vic, you can help me with this. The little bee character that had the really baritone voice in that. Did he speak in the cartoon or not? I can't remember.
No, he made a zippy noise.
He was
so
like
it
was like
this.
This.
It was.
Like, and that's why it was even better. I don't know. I recognize his voice.
It's the guy from the unit. He did that credit card advert, Capital One. He did. Oh, it was the main guy from the unit.
It's amazing. It's like that proper deep, like you would imagine like a really big guy, everything, and he's the beat.
He was in 24. He played the president. He's been in so many things. This guy. Let me get his name for you because it's going to annoy me if I don't get it. Dennis Haysbert.
That's the one. It was all the weird children as well. The kind of the mutated children that they had. Like I didn't need that visual. Like, but it was they gave it to us anyway. But I did like how one of them was CGI'd and one of them stayed true. Like, and I think that from an animation perspective, like that took some work. Like that needs to be kind of credited for something. And it was even down to the credits where they were just kind of like, oh yeah, we'll get some like really popular singer to like sing our theme song, like and then it cuts into who was it? It was I can't even think now, but somebody big doing like the slowed down version of their theme tune was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. It really was. I really enjoyed it, and I I can't knock it. It was just brilliant from beginning to end. Well, you're looking up who the singer is. Sorry.
Post Malone.
Post Malone. There we go. I knew it.
I knew it was someone like that. Post Malone.
And it's just
never what you would expect.
No.
Yeah, love it.
Was there any really obscure cameos that you noticed that no one else has picked up on, or was there anything that? What was your favourite cameo?
My favourite cameo was the cats in the alleyway. We were just talking about that when you were just there. There was the cats in the alleyway. From the musical Cats.
Yeah.
In the new little weird CGI form.
Yeah, my one was that the reference for the early noughties, like really weird animation style. And they just basically brushed away and everything. That was really good. And Ugly Sonic he just stole the show. Like
Ugly Sonic was very good. Yeah, my favourite thing that I noticed was when Peter Pan had the dip in his pack. When he opens up his pack, and he had the dip from Roger Rabbit, and I just thought that was, for me as a Roger Rabbit fan, I was just like obviously you do see Roger Rabbit at the beginning, don't you? Yeah. But then he has the bottle of dip, and I just think that was, for me, that was just this is why I'm enjoying this so much, because this is just a continuation of Roger Rabbit. Like there's no two ways about it. Like this is what Roger Rabbit would have been if they had the rights to use real characters and stuff, like not had to have invented characters. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good film. But I can't think what else we've got coming out. Is there anything big coming out soon?
We talk about. And you actually seen Jurassic Park? Have you guys seen the new Top Gun?
No, not yet.
No,
not yet.
Have you been?
No, I'm saving myself to go alone with that, Aaron, because I'm gonna be like, as a girl, come on. And there is a beach scene in there as well, so I gotta go. No, I'm a huge Top Gun fan, but since I came back from America, I've been working a lot, so I haven't been able to go. But I'm a huge Top Gun fan, so I'm gonna go. I think this week.
I'm the same. I absolutely loved Top Gun when it was out, and yeah, a lot of people I know have gone to see it, and I've kind of stayed away from spoilers because it's not one of those films that, you know, they're gonna post loads of spoilers about. But one thing I did hear is about Val Kilmer's lines, like they used AI for his lines, which I think is really cool to have him involved. But at the same token, I was like, couldn't they have like written it in somehow so that it could authentically be him? But yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited to see it, and I love Tom Cruise. He's mad as a mad as a box of frogs or whatever, but he's cool and he is Maverick. Let's be honest. Like,
look, it's exactly the same. Like personal life, acting, you know, that's different for everyone. Yeah, exactly. He's a really good actor.
Mission Impossible 2 was still one of my favourite films at the time. Like when it came out, that scene of him when he never mind. But Jurassic Park, when does Jurassic World come out? That's really soon, isn't it? That's next week.
Is it?
Yes, 10th, I think. 10th.
Yeah, 10th.
The 10th.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know why I'm not more excited for this. I genuinely don't know why I'm not more excited for it. Like, I love the Jurassic Park franchise, and I've seen every single one. And this one brings them all back together, but I don't know. For some reason, I haven't booked a ticket yet, and that says a lot about it for me.
I'm the same. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, and I actually have I got loads of dinos there as well. And I actually recently got the Chaos Effect dinos too. So these are very hard to fit.
Where did you find them? Was that in America by any chance?
Megacon, yeah. Megacon, yeah.
They're amazing, man.
Oh, so happy with these.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, and I'm in love with Jeff Goldblum so much. But it's I don't know. I know it's Dominion. I know it's all over the world, but I kind of liked it when it was more in the jungle and on the island, and you know, it's more in the nature than running around in Italy. You know what I mean? It's just it's gonna be nice to see the original cast as well. It's gonna be nice, but at the same time, I don't know.
We went to the Natural History Museum this past week. Like, we went up there over the bank holiday. And a lot of the advertisements for on the way there, especially on the trains and stuff like that, is all Jurassic Park and Dominion and the Lego sets and that kind of stuff. And it was only at that point I was like, oh wow, I'm really not as hyped for this film as I thought I was going to be, because it's everywhere and I haven't even bought a piece of merchandise yet. But I don't know. I hope it's good. I really do. I just hope it's a good kind of final chapter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've got all the cast back. We've got Spielberg back in the director's chair for this one, I believe, with Colin Trevorrow. He's helped write and produce this one. So I mean, if Spielberg has got a hand in it, like a proper hand in it this time, and they said that this is going to be the last Jurassic thing they do, this is it, then it's got to go out with a bang. If this is going to be the final thing they make, other than the TV stuff, I'm guessing, but.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really do hope so. It's been such a predominant part of so many people's lives. Because what is it now? 20 years old? 25 years old?
25, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think when it was that the original Jurassic Park came out.
96, I think. 95.
Really?
The first one.
It's about that. Yeah. I went to the cinema to see it, and I shouldn't have done. Let's put it that way.
I just remember all the merchandise. There was merchandise everywhere, like from like sweet packets to cards to candy eggs, like to blind bags to sticker books like everywhere. Like Jurassic Park stuff was everywhere.
1993 Jurassic Park, by the way, 1993.
93.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
So this is a long.
My parents took me to see that film when I was 4. No wonder I'm traumatized by raptors.
I used to be scared. I just that film did something to a lot of people. Like it was very, yeah.
It was the big. I was fine with the rest of the film. It was. If I remember it clear as day, it was the beginning bit. You know, the whole shooter, that bit where his arm getting dragged in. That freaked me right out as a kid.
And the bit with in the jungle bit with a clever girl. Nah, that got me. Yeah, the big jumps and the running and the crashing and that stuff. Like I could handle all that, but it was the jump. Oh, and the bit with Eddie Sattler where she's doing the lights and then it comes through the pipe.
I don't know. To me, Samuel Jackson's arm is like
the arm. Yeah.
No, definitely not.
But everything was made okay by a half-naked Jeff Goldblum just kind of laying there.
Let me see it 1 second.
You've
got that, haven't you? Yeah, where is it? Yeah.
There you go. That's the one. It just made everything okay. One of my favourite memes to this day is where they spliced that video with Alan Grant laying on the Triceratops. You must have seen that one.
Yeah.
So it's Alan Grant. Yeah. That's one of my that lives in my head rent free. Just Sam Neill like just laying on Jeff Goldblum's chest. That's like the screensaver in my head.
So with the new film, it's horrible to say, I think Sam Neill's not going to make it out of that film alive.
Who? Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Yeah.
I think his character's going to bite the dust in this one. They need to do something to give it some emotional thing for us, and I don't think killing off any of the new characters would have that effect, but killing off one of the main cast from the original film that we remember so lovingly, and if it was Jeff Goldblum, he'd have to die in a cool way, which would annoy the crap out of me.
I'm sorry. No,
it would be.
He'd have to die in some really cool way, wouldn't it? It'd have to be like he'd have to make a quip before he died, and it wouldn't be emotional. It'd just be funny. So I imagine if you kill off Sam Neill, we could get some proper emotional goodbye to Ellie or something in it, as he gets dragged off by some animal. I thought I could just see that, like a scene or something where he maybe kills, like sends them or does some tells them to go or whatever, and he sort of stays behind or something. The thing is, kill him off.
Those guys have a really good backstory between Jurassic Park 2 and 3, because there's the whole thing, isn't there, where he calls her and she's the one that sends the army. So there's obviously a relationship there, and I'd like to see that kind of developed. I'd like to see how that. There's got to be some kind of there's got to be something emotional that attaches us to it. I thought you said Samuel wasn't going to make it out. I was like, no, he died in the first film. Sorry, that's not a theory.
You never know.
You never know. I could see Samuel Jackson rocking up with no arm and just a shotgun in his hand, like, you think I'm dead, motherfucker? like a Bruce Campbell. Yes, Bruce Campbell.
Like chainsaw. Yeah. No, I am really excited for it. I think it's. I don't know. I just need to book tickets. I'm actually shocked that I haven't got tickets to it, considering it's like the final chapter. It's like, but there's part of me that also believes that it won't be. Like they say this so many times about things, don't they? Oh, this is the last time we're ever going to touch this, and then it doesn't do as well as they expect it to, and they do a sequel.
Or they did the cartoon as well, on Netflix.
The Camp Cretaceous,
Where else? Once the dinosaurs have taken over the world, where else is there to go from a story point? It'd have to be a reboot next, surely. There's nowhere to go from that.
Prequel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd have to be like a reboot, a prequel. It'd have to be something set before Jurassic Park.
Yeah, or just other stories
around the times of the films. Yeah,
like other stories within the universe, kind of thing. Sort of. Yeah, but I wonder whether it is going to be a big apocalyptic kind of end to the film, where it's kind of like, dinosaurs win. Like
I could see them doing that.
That because that's kind of the way the trailer's going. That they're living and we're kind of coping with them, coexisting with them. Because it's not them coexisting with us. It's very much everything you see it's the humans kind of trying to adapt to the dinosaurs being around, as opposed to vice versa. So I wonder whether it's just going to go full on, especially if they're breeding and stuff now, like, which, you know, Blue's got a little baby, so that's implied.
I can just see the toys coming.
Oh, you know that. Just throw a baby in it. You want to sell merch? Make a baby version.
They can so easily do it because they did it before, didn't they? Because they released the baby version of Blue from the first Jurassic World film as like an animatronic and a toy, the plushie. All they have to do is slap that back out with a new sticker on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that version of Blue was only in it for like seconds. Like, it was like a couple of minutes, wasn't it? Whereas this one looks like it kind of features. It's the big point of the story, you know, going after this baby. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. You know,
whatever happens, the film's gonna end with a monologue from Ian Malcolm. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm so preoccupied with whether we could win or whether it'll have some little rant at the end that sounds really good. But life finds a way. It's just, like in the last film, he had that whole speech of humans and dinosaurs are now going to be forced to coexist, and he had that whole spiel, didn't he? That sounded really majestic, but in actual fact, he said nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Can you imagine if Lexi and Tim come back as some kind of dino hunter? They just like they're the only cameos that I was annoyed we didn't get. Like the only existing cast. I was like, why didn't we get them back? Like, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, when they went down the route of like for Jurassic World, they had a massive option to use them, because like when they said about like now that he's passed away, someone else has taken over the company, it could have well easily been Tim, because he was well into dinosaurs. And imagine if that would have been Tim that ran that part rather than some random character that they've made up for the movie. But that would have been so much better.
Isn't the actor retired from acting?
Probably, but it didn't.
Because that's right.
Cast him, couldn't they, though? I mean, to be honest,
yeah, you never know.
Get someone playing Tim.
Might be like better to be like an insurance lawyer, or I don't know. Like some people just don't want to, you know, get back into acting. But I know she still does like some Comic Cons and everything.
They could have easily done the characters, though. They could have done the characters. Yeah, like Tim was young enough that you could have cast someone as an adult, like to keep the character alive. But yeah, I don't know. It was we'll see.
Oh yeah, see, I've gone on a rabbit hole now. You've made me want to look up what the hell Tim does now as a living. I need to look this up now. He's going to be some car salesman. I don't know if
he's an insurance lawyer.
I've got a feeling he's a teacher or a professor or something along them lines.
And every time he goes near something electric, he has to go
Oh.
I know he's still is he bloody Bohemian Rhapsody, for God's sake? He's still acting.
Really?
No.
He plays John Deacon in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, Vic, there you
go. Oh wow.
He's definitely still acting. How do we not know this guy grew up to be him? He was in The Social Network, he was in Jurassic Park, he was in The Pacific. He's been in a lot of good things.
Oh wow.
So there's really no excuse for
him now.
There's no excuse for them not to use him then. None at all. Oh dear.
I'm glad I looked that up now. I can't believe it's the guy from Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's nuts.
Jesus.
That really is nuts.
He's the guy with the dodgy perm. Do. That's Tim.
Oh my God, need to rewatch it.
I did not know that.
I wanted to picture him in some dodgy Ford dealership somewhere. You know, like I've got a Jurassic of a deal for you.
There is someone though. There is someone that's similar to him that's kind of retired from acting. That's
the guy from Hocus Pocus. He basically lives off of the rights of Hocus Pocus. That is all he did. He did that in Eerie Indiana and a couple of other films, and he basically lives off royalty checks and just does Comic Cons. And I think he does something like he's a waiter. Yeah, I think he does something daft like he works as like a waiter in a small coffee shop, like just fill his time out.
Fair enough.
Omri Katz, what he called Omri Katz. Yeah, he's like retired from acting and stuff like years ago, and he just lives off Comic Cons.
Oh wow! Erie, Indiana was a good show though. I used to love that.
Well advanced for a time,
that was there. Let's get a comeback of Erie, Indiana. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope he comes back for the Hocus Pocus sequel. At least a cameo. He's got to be in it, surely.
Yeah.
That comes out this October, not long.
He has to be. Surely. Is it really that close?
It's this October.
Wow.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Wow.
Again, just coming to Disney Channel. And Disney Plus, not coming to live to cinemas.
Just straight to Disney.
Straight to Disney Plus.
That subscription is worth it. So yeah, if you're not a Disney Plus subscriber, get on it.
The thing is, it's what you can't pay monthly, right? To Disney, you have to do the yearly.
Yeah, you can pay monthly.
I think you can do monthly. Yeah.
Okay.
I do yearly. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to do the yearly.
So maybe it's worth it for them because it's cheaper yearly. Maybe it's better for them if people not going to the cinema.
Yeah.
Want to watch it. They just, it's cheaper on Disney Plus. We just buy it for the year or something because it's cheaper than take the whole family to the cinema.
But the price of
and they keep it, and it's more and more people buy it, and yeah.
But the price of Disney Plus, even on a monthly subscription, is less than a single ticket to the cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
It's less than Netflix.
Yeah. So if you were going to go to the cinema once a month, you would spend more money going to cinema once a month on your own than you would doing Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So it's just, where's the logic? Like, you just suck it up and pay for it. Like, it's.
I mean, like, when you think of Disney as a company, obviously to put things in the cinemas costs money, because obviously the City World and that will take a cut of whatever the ticket prices are. So surely it's going to be cheaper for Disney just to go, well, we'll stick the film on our own distribution network service. There's no overheads at all.
No.
And they're getting to like 20, 30, 50, however million billion a year from the subscribers. License to print money, isn't it?
Just a ridiculous amount, isn't it? Just a ridiculous amount of money that would go into that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's great. I think living in a world. I wonder as well whether all these streaming sites would have blown up the way they did if it wasn't for the pandemic. Because for me, going to cinema was like a regular thing. Like I'd go maybe once a week with my friends. Like it would be, instead of going down the pub, we'd go and see a film. Like it's kind of, okay, let's go and see this week. And I'd go and see things that I'd have no intention of seeing sometimes, just for the sake of going to the cinema. And then with the pandemic, it was all, okay, we'll look at the streaming sites. All I've not seen this yet, but now it seems to be the real main way to deliver information. And I wonder whether we would have the things that we have, like the Star Wars TV shows and the Marvel TV shows, if it wasn't for that massive boom in people wanting stuff in their homes. Just a Jerry Springer Steiner thought there, like but no, it is plus pros and cons, isn't it? Pros and cons. I love it. I love being able to just watch stuff that come from my own home as many times as I want.
I've come to now, as I was a cinema lover, I had the City World card. I used to go all the time and see films I would never normally go and watch just because I had the card. So it meant I want to get my money's worth. And nowadays, I barely go to cinema. Like you say, I've not even thought of booking a cinema ticket for Jurassic World. No. Because I know that like maybe within a couple of days Amazon will probably have it on. Yeah, it'll be 20 quid to rent it, but it would cost me that to go to the cinema. But I can sit in the comfort of my own home with with Lynn and my daughter or whatever, and I'd have to buy them a ticket. It costs that much anyway, except I'm in my own home now.
But it's also the rewatch value as well. Like for me, like Doctor Strange, for example, the Multiverse of Madness. Okay, that's coming onto Disney Plus, next week or something like that. It's really quick that it's from cinema to Disney Plus. But I didn't take my kids to go and see it. Even though I wanted to go and see it, I didn't take them to see it because I knew Sam Raimi and horror and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, there could be an element that's going to be too scary. So I want to go and suss it out first. So I paid my money and I saw the film. And that was it. So then in order to take them, I'd have to then pay my money again. Whereas if I just watched it at home, I could have then said to them the next day, you know what, this is okay, or we'll get to this bit, we'll skip over this bit, but you can watch it. You know what I mean? And it just makes sense that rewatch value alone makes perfect sense. That I'd rather spend my money on a home subscription than going and looking at something in the cinema, which is a shame, but
the future.
Hey ho. It's what
the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing.
Exactly.
It's like we only have just streaming sites. We're paying for Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, we have Disney Plus, but we don't have Sky, or we don't have.
No, I'm saying I don't have Sky.
It's no point. It's
Nope.
no point to have it. You get everything on Prime, you get everything on Disney Plus. Like it's no point to flick between the 600 channels and it's all the same, or it's nothing on, and you're paying around £100. So I would rather pay like £30, a month, or 35, and I can just watch it whenever. I don't have to do the catch up, and it's just all really good, like movies and series being,
And the fact that the only reason for me to buy Sky would be for like Sky Atlantic to watch things like Peacemaker and things like that, but they're now on Now TV, and it's only a tenner for like a month subscription. So like when that new Game of Thrones TV series comes out later on this year, all I'm going to be doing is paying like 2 months subscription to Now TV for £20 to see the series.
Yeah.
It's like it makes no sense to have Sky for a year just for that. So I mean, I'm same as you. I don't have Sky. I don't have Virgin. I literally just have an Xbox and I have all the apps on it.
Yeah.
That's all I run.
We have Sky, and literally it's a vehicle to watch the apps. It's, we very, very rarely do we sit down and watch a TV show that's on the telly, or that we'll get to an evening, we're like, right, let's see what's on, and we'll go through a handful of channels, and we're like, right, Disney or Prime or Netflix. So pick one. Which one do you want to do? But yeah, I think it's great. And it's like my daughter's got a TV in her room now as well. Like this is this made me feel proper old. So we got her a smart TV. And when I first got a TV in my room, I needed a VHS player and later a DVD player. I needed my collection of DVDs or tapes, like whatever it was, my own collection. I got like a surround sound plug-in as well. I had the TV. And it was this whole kind of electronic setup. Whereas for her, we just got a TV, plugged it in, turned it on. Right, there's your Netflix, there's your Disney Plus, right, go for it, knock yourself out. And I was like, where's all the stuff? Like, where's the box sets? Like, but
my daughter's the same. So my daughter, she's got a tablet, she's 6, she has a tablet. And basically, she knows that if she presses the stream button, like on the Disney Plus app, it'll send it to the television. So she literally knows how to like use Google Glass, basically. And she's 6, and she'll basically go, she goes to Netflix, she sets it to kids, and then just presses the one button, poof, on TV. So it's like, I would have done that as a child. I had to shout downstairs to tell them to change channel. Do you remember having to do that? Your dad controlled the Sky downstairs. Yeah, your dad controlled the Sky downstairs. You had to watch whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That's what I used to have.
Yes. Or you're in the middle of a film, and then all of a sudden it like swaps over. You're like, no, go back.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I just unlocked the core memory for Jacob there, I think.
Oh, that's so bad. Like but even Netflix as well, though. Like Netflix originally, they would deliver you a DVD. Like that's nuts. Yeah. Like, you would go on Netflix, you'd pick it. It was basically a delivery version. Yeah. But it was like a delivery
Blockbuster.
Yeah, a Deliveroo version of Blockbuster, wasn't it? Like it's like I remember video shops though, like there was, much as I love the streaming sites, I am sad for the generation of children that are not going to experience the video shop, because there was something so wholesome about a video shop, like going in there and the walls of video, and then I really want this one, this is the new film out, sorry mate, all the copies are out, can you just check the bins, see if anyone's brought one back? And then and then you'd find, And I used to love the clear out sales that they would take the stuff off, and I'd buy this ratty old DVD or VHS that had been viewed 1 million times because they'd reduced it down to a $5 or something. It is, yeah, I don't know.
As a kid at Choices Videos, they used to have a thing, and it was $2.75 for 7 nights, if I remember rightly. Something like that. It was like dirt cheap, and you could rent something for 7 nights. And it got to the point where my dad rented me Robin Hood Men in Tights so many times that the woman just gave me it and said, "Just don't come back. Just keep it." Like, I think I was the only person checking it out. Like, I was the only person coming in like every other week. Like, is that film? And like, again, really? Like, I like that film.
I was the same with The Mummy.
Yeah, The Mummy.
Same with The Mummy, the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it was just, I don't know. Just
different
the other thing as well. The other thing that I think nowadays, and I'm guilty of this as well, that in the video shop you'd go down, you'd pay your £2.75 whatever, and you'd have it for 2 nights or 3 nights, whatever. You would watch that film because you paid for it, and you've got nothing else to watch. So you would watch that film and you would scrutinize it, and you'd pull it apart, and you would rewatch it and stuff. Whereas now you kind of go on Netflix, you watch something, a couple of minutes in, you're like, no, this is rubbish. You turn it off. And that might be the best film you've ever seen. But because that first couple of minutes hasn't hooked you, you switch it off.
Yeah.
There's so many films. Like Starship Troopers for me. I must have seen that film 500 times easily. There was a good year of my life where I watched it, I think, every single night. Like no like exaggeration. The film's crap, let's be honest. It's really, like, it's bad acting. The idea of there's so many plot holes in it and stuff. Like, it was, but I loved it, and I still love it to this day. But I think nowadays, if I went on Netflix and it was on there and it was a new concept, I'd play it, I'd get a few minutes in, I'd be like, oh no, I look for something a bit more realistic, you know. But
mate,
I don't know.
Starship Troopers is one of them films. It's one of them films that I think I know word for word now. I'm pretty sure I could narrate that movie. Same with Mummy. Same with Brendan Fraser's Mummy. That's another film that I'm pretty sure I could narrate the whole thing word for word.
Yeah. They're just good films. Like, they are good films. The Mummy was a fantastic film. Like, it was.
Have you guys seen my picture on Instagram?
Yeah.
I got my Mummy VHS signed. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Really cool. How was it? Was it good? Was it?
Not a very good experience.
Oh man,
I was gutted when he said Brendan Fraser were a bit meh.
To be honest, I don't think it was his fault. He was sold out. It was the last day. They were rushing him, but at the same time, you know, when it's like, I might be the 1,000th person for him, but to me, he's the only one. So it kind of felt a little bit. I was actually nearly crying.
Oh man!
Because he was like, basically, the couple who was standing in front of us, they wanted a sign so they can get it tattooed.
Oh God!
So they were chatting with him about this, and but because he was signing stuff at the same time, he signed my VHS, and after I was standing there, he signed it. The couple left. I was standing there and he was looking at me and he was like, "Is this yours?" And I was like, "Yes." I took it, and I was like, you know, when he's like, you're just admiring someone, and he's like, not even a high or anything. He's like, he literally just did this. So basically, like, okay, what are you doing here? So why don't you go? So it's like, I don't know. I was like, thank you, and I just basically walked away. So I was a little bit like, I literally, like, I grown up on the Mummy. I had I cut out every single article from newspapers. I stick in like a little album, and I had so much like Mummy stuff, and that was the only VHS. I watched it so many times. It was unplayable, but it's just I'm happy. I don't know where I put the. That's the problem. You see, it would be like the pride of joy, and I'm like, well, I got it signed, and it's like, I don't even know where I put it.
Just propping up a table now or something.
Yeah, but I got Gina's here. I got
you can see
Gina.
Gina Carano.
Yes, I saw that.
That's my
I
pride
saw
and
that.
joy, because she was amazing. She was actually the best experience I ever had with her. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
With
Says
the
a lot
celebrity.
though,
So
doesn't
at
it?
least it leveled it out, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Jason Mewes was mine at London Comic Con the other year. He was mine, like
Really?
the best meet and greet I've ever had in my life. He was so fun.
Oh, nice.
He was literally Jay from Jay and Silent Bob in real life. I'm pretty sure that is just him, and it's not a character for him. It's just him, because he was so bouncy and like just like he was on TV. He was such a nice guy to meet. And yeah, it was so cool to meet them guys. Like, because not a lot of people were queuing up for him either, which surprised me. It's like nobody really, I don't know, recognized him or knew him. Like there was a queue, but there was like 10 of us in the queue for him.
But he's not done a lot recently, though, has he? For like younger generations to know.
So for me, obviously, it's Scream, Dogma. He's been in everything. It's Jason.
Yeah.
Say Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without doubt. I don't know who mine would be. I think mine might be John Romita Jr., the artist. He was just really. There was something really cool about him when I saw him at MCM, because it wasn't a paid one. He just wanted you to pay a donation to a charity, like to his charity. And there was but there was people that were clearly taking the piss, that they were turning up with like piles of books, so you knew they were just going to resell. And it was like, okay, this guy's doing it for free or for minimal, so let's get as many signed as we can. And I took I've got a few actually. I took my all-star Batman down, and he did like a little Batman on the front, which was really cool. The big pride and joy for me was I had see if I can get it out. An issue 500 of Spider-Man, like the double-sized one that we had. So it's not even a rare book, not even a rare book at all. But I had it at a Midtown Comics, and I got it signed by all of the people in it. But Romita Senior and Romita Junior weren't there at the time, so I took it down, and JR signed it for me, which was really cool. So obviously I haven't got his dad's signature on it, but I've got everyone else's signature on it. So taking that down and getting that little final signature for me was just a real, But he was just really cool, and I'd done my favorite comic cover ever. Like he just did them all, right? And I just took it down, and I had about 5 or 6 like key issues that I was like, I need his signature on this, and I think I donated 20 or 30 quid, I think it was, and he just was really pleased about it and really nice, and spent time talking to you, which was just. But then you had people, like I said, they literally were turning up with stacks of books and just going, "Can you sign these?" And just, oh yeah, there's 20 quid, thanks so much. But it was like, but he had time to talk to everyone, and the queue wasn't huge to meet him, because again, it's one of them people that if you don't know your artists, you're not. He's not on film, he's not in front of people. But for me, he was a real key one, because I love his style.
Yeah, it does make a difference when when they are still humble and they actually like acknowledge that the fans got them there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The fans. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right. I think we need to call it. We're chatting away, and we've actually gone on well late.
We've got well over.
Yeah, I did not realise how long we've gone on today. Like, see, Ryan leaves for a week, and we're just like, whatever, that's fine. But that is
Ryan's normally the timekeeper, isn't it?
Oh, I know. He's going. We gotta go. But it's sorry, Ryan. We love you, mate. This was essentially our last show of our first year, let's be honest. Because next week's show is officially our week 52, which means that it is our 1 year show. So we have got a couple of little guest spots on there. Vic, you're going to do one for us as well, so you'll be back next week even if you're not on it live. But yeah, we've got a couple of things planned for next week, and we're just going to talk through the normal stuff of the week with a couple of little extra segments here and there as well. But Vic, Girl Strikes Back, it was fantastic having you on our last show of the year. That's like, and what a fantastic replacement for Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I can't believe it's a year. Congratulations!
I know. It's crazy. Thank you very much. Yeah, me and Sorrell still have to meet in person. Like that's I'm surprised we've not actually made that happen. To be honest with you, it's like quite a. We need to make this happen. We'll do a video one week, and we'll just be in the same room. We'll be there together. But yeah, no. So that's it. So obviously all the same things, like, share, subscribe, and all those kind of things. But do check the description below. Vic's details are there, Sorrell's details there, my details are there. Or as always, it's always a pleasure having guests on, having a chat, talking through the week. We appreciate anyone listening and watching. Until next week, keep it geek.
The Geek Week in Review.